2.3 Linear functions and slopes. Find the slope of a line passing through a pair of points, or state the slope is undefined. Then indicate whether the line through the point rises, falls, or is horizontal or is vertical. Okay, so we want to find the slope of a line passing through the pair of points. Okay, so in this case right here, we can see that if you just want to do it mentally, the y values 4, it goes to 8, so it went up 4. And the x values 3 go up to 1, so the 3 value goes up to 4, which means it went up 1. So 4 divided by 1 is just 4. The slope is 4. And you want to indicate whether it rises, falls, is horizontal, or vertical. In this case, it's a positive 4 slope, so it rises. Okay, so now let's do it the long way. Okay, so we're going to say this is 0.1, which gives me x1 and y1. We would say this is 0.2, which gives me x2 and y2. The general formula for this is m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then we plug everything in. Where it says y2, we're going to plug in our 8. Then where it says y1, we're going to plug in our 4. Then where it says x2, we're going to plug in our 4. Where it says x1, we're going to plug in our 3. At this point, we say 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. We end up with 4 over 1. 4 divided by 1 is 4. And we got it. And it does rise. Next. Okay, right here, we can just look at this. What's the change in the y values? -1 to -1, the change was 0. It did not change at all. And then from -4 to +1 is a 5 change for the x, or the run in this case, right? 0 divided by 5 is 0. We got our slope. Okay, so let's do it the long way. Okay, so we could say this is 0.1. That would make this x1, and this would make that y1. This is 0.2. That would make this x2, and this is y2. So right here we would say the general formula for the slope given 2 points is m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What is y2? It's a -1. What is y1? It's a -1. What is x2? It's a 1. What is, whoops, too close. What is x1? It is a -4. -1 minus -1 is the same as -1 plus 1, which gives you a 0. 1 minus -4 is the same as 1 plus 4, which gives you a 5. 0 divided by 5 is 0. And we end up with another 0 slope. Now, if you memorized before, if you have a 0 slope, that is a horizontal line. So we're supposed to memorize that, right? Again, if y is equal to a constant, we know the slope is 0, and it is a horizontal line. Horizontal line. Yes. Okay, let's try the next ones. So, right here we're saying that we have the difference in y's from -1 to 7 is a +8, and from 3 to 4 is 3 to 7 is a 4. Okay, 8 divided by 4 is 2, so we have a slope of 2. Okay, so let's do it the long way. 0.1 will give me an x1 and a y1. 0.2 will give me a x2 and a y2. And the slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Right? So at this point, we would say that y2 is 7. y1 is -1. We would say x2 is 7. We would say x1 is 3. So 7 minus -1 is the same as 7 plus 1, which gives you an 8. 7 minus 3 is 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we end up with a 2 slope, which is positive. It's a positive slope, so it rises. It rises from left to right. Next one. Just looking at this, we can tell that the y's go from 2 to -8, so it went down 10 to get there. And 5 to 5 for the x values, or the run, is 0. It did not change at all. So because we're dividing by 0, we know this is undefined. Undefined. Okay, so let's do it the long way to verify. 0.1 is x1, y1. 0.2 is x2, y2. And the general formula for this is m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is equal we want to plug in the y2 in this case, which is a -8, minus, we want to plug in the y1, which is a 2. We have an x2, which will give us the 5, and we have an x1, which gives us another 5. -8 minus 2 is -10. 5 minus 5 is a 0, and if you divide by 0, you get undefined. Okay, now, when something's undefined, we know that means it is a vertical line, because we memorized it, right? We memorized that. And review is if x is equal to some constant, okay, the slope is undefined. And that means it is a vertical line. Vertical line. Vertical, right? And we got it. I don't think we had one that fell for some reason. Nope. Okay, so write the point-slope form of the line's equation satisfying the given conditions, then use the point-slope form of the equation to write the slope-intercept form of the equation. We're going to use the point-slope form, so that's y minus y1 is equal to m multiplied by x minus x1. We plug in what we know, so we say y minus y1. If we label this would be 0.1, that would give us x1 and y1 there, and therefore y1 would be the 6 minus m, which they give us as 3, multiplied by x minus x1, which in this case is a 7. Okay, so we're going to distribute the 3 into the parentheses there. So that gives you y minus 6 is equal to 3 times x, which is 3x. And then 3 times -7, which is -21. Then we're going to get the y by itself by undoing the subtraction of 6 by adding 6. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. Cancel, cancel. We end up with y is equal to 3x minus, right? So -21 plus 6 is -15. And we have it in the slope-intercept form. So we're good. That's it. Okay, so next we want to do the same thing. So we're going to say y minus y1 is equal to m multiplied by x minus x1. And we plug in what we know, which y1, if we label this, will be 0.1, which will give x1 there, and it will give me y1 there. Okay, so what's y1? Well, it looks like it's a -3/4 equals m, which is a -3, multiplied by x minus x1, which is a -2. So there's lots of opportunities to make sign errors here. I put it in parentheses. This makes it a little easier to see where the double negatives are, and then they're going to flip to be positive, right? So let's deal with that first. So subtracting a negative the same as adding a positive, so that just turns into that, right? So y minus -3/4 is the same as y plus 3/4. We keep the -3 there. X minus -2 is the same as x plus 2. At this point, we are going to distribute the -3. This means y plus 3/4 is equal to -3 times x, which is -3x. And -3 times 2 is -6. Next, we want to subtract 3/4. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. And that gives me y is equal to -3x minus, and I guess to show the work. Generally speaking, you're just going to use your calculator for this. You don't actually have to write out everything I'm about to write out, but just to be thorough, I'll write it out. So -6/1 minus 3/4. We have to get a common denominator to subtract, so we multiply both of these by 4. Gives me -24/4. That's a 4, believe it or not, minus 3/4. Now that the denominators are the same, we're going to say -24 minus 3. You can even write this step if you want. And that would give me -27/4. Okay, so that's where we get that -27/4. Hopefully that makes sense. And there you go. Okay, the last one they want us to do is they want us to do it passing through these 2 points. Now, so we still need y minus y1 is equal to m multiplied by x minus x1, but we don't have the slope. Well, luckily we have another formula to find the slope, and that is m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is the formula to find a slope given 2 points. So let's plug it in. So if we label this as 0.1, that would be x1, that would be y1, and this would be 0.2, would be x2, y2, And right here we would say that y2 is 18. We would say y1 is 6. We would say x2 is 9. We would say x1 is 3. And that would give me a 12 over a 6. 12 divided by 6 is a 2, or positive 2 right there. Okay, now we have our slopes. We say y minus y1, in this case that's a 6, equals m, which is a 2, x minus x1, x1 being a 3. Then we distribute the 2's. Y minus 6 is equal to 2x. 2 times x, which is 2x. 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. Plus 6, plus 6. Cancel, cancel. Y is equal to 2x. And looks like that's it.